Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about one of the hottest young quarterbacks in football, being Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers. I think when talking about this football team, we have to constantly be reminded this is a team that started off 3-6. They have turned things around, and I dropped a film breakdown on this team about a couple of weeks ago talking about Jordan Love and the combination of he and Matt LaFleur. Three things which I detailed in the video was first, how Matt LaFleur has implemented his West Coast system for a young guy like Jordan Love. We see a lot of motion within this offense. We see now we have a run game which is predicated off of our passing game. We run a lot of play action. When we face the blitz, now we're giving Jordan Love answers. That's all I talk about, especially for my young quarterbacks. Give the guy answers, whether that be hot routes, inside routes, slant routes, glance routes, things that we can quickly get the football off against pressure, against the blitz, even when we need an easy read to move the sticks down the football field. Now, Jordan Love has been on absolute fire. He's notched 11 touchdowns and 1 interception in his last 5 games. And I think when looking at this, they're in a perfect position now. This is a football team that all they have to do is defeat the Chicago Bears. Now, it's not going to be easy. You're going in there against a Matt Eberflus-led defense, a defense that has turned things around in the second half of the season, an offense which Justin Fields is trying to play and vie for his position is the Chicago Bears quarterback. So there's a lot of things we talk about. I just talked about the Chicago Bears yesterday, but I think to be in this position after starting off 3-6, that's just good within itself for the Green Bay Packers to see that when Jordan Love is playing alongside one of the youngest offenses in football, his weapons, Romeo Doubs, 23. We go to some of the other guys, Jaden Reed, 22, 23. Very, very young weapons, even Dontavian Wicks, but we're seeing them grow along with each other, get better as they consistently play football together, even with the receiving core in a weapon tandem that has lacked health. Christian Watson has missed some games. Aaron Jones has missed some games. But also in the last 5, Jordan Love has 1,244 yards on 68.9 completion percentage. So I think there's been a lot of comparisons. There's been a lot of, when we look at Jordan Love, what do we see? Is this Brett Favre because they had 15 years of that? Okay, they go off of that. They come back 15 years, Aaron Rodgers. Looking at that long-tenured quarterback who is a Hall of Fame-like quarterback. And I think some conversations, some comparisons have been fair to Jordan Love. Some have been unfair. But the biggest thing I'll say with that is that after he's played some of these primetime games, primetime versus Kansas City, primetime versus Minnesota, he's still been able to keep up his level of play. He's still been able to elevate his guys and play good football on the football field at the quarterback position. Now, his season totals 3,843 yards, which ranks him 10th in the NFL. 240.2 yards per game ranks him 10th in the NFL. 30 touchdowns ranks him 3rd in the NFL. Now, he has 11 interceptions. I do want to note that as well, but he has a 61.5 QBR, which ranks him 10th in the NFL. So we're looking at a guy who's top 10 in some of these big-time major statistical categories. And when I also talk about Jordan Love, I'm looking at a guy who, yes, he stepped in some games where guys were injured. Aaron Rodgers gets out of a game. He comes in the big-time Philadelphia game. Okay, maybe he starts a game if somebody's down. But this is his first full year, and I said it's going to be some growing pains. When I evaluated Jordan Love coming into the season, because it started off shaky. Like I said, they started off 3-6, but it wasn't just the team. Jordan Love was struggling. He was putting the ball in harm's way a lot early on in the season. He was missing some throws, being inaccurate, being spotty within his accuracy. But now I think we've seen those downs, and then we've seen some ups. And the question is, can he remain consistent with the level of football that we've been seeing? And I think for the past 5 to 7 weeks, 5 to 10 weeks, we've seen a quarterback who can remain consistent. One thing I talked about in my film breakdown when I talked about Jordan Love, you don't want to blitz this guy right now. They have a lot of answers when they're facing man coverage, when they're facing the blitz. On 243 dropbacks against pressure, Jordan Love faces the most pass blitz percentages, 46.4. The league average is 30. So we're looking at a guy who's getting blitzed 16% more than what the league average is getting blitzed, and he's still successful. Against the pass blitz, he has 10 touchdowns to 1 interception and a 3.7 sack rate. So not only is he not taking sacks when he's facing the blitz, I said it as well in the film breakdown. This is a guy who's extremely decisive. When you see 10 touchdowns to 1 interception against pass blitzes, you understand this is a guy who's going to take his shot. He pushes the football down the football field. And early on, it was getting it in harm's way a little bit, but now You want to be a calculated risk taker. That's something I talk about with quarterbacks as well. He's calculating the risk he's taking. He's understanding, okay, maybe I can get Romeo Doubs right here. I think about the game versus the Los Angeles Chargers. He's going against the blitz, and he just throws it up to Romeo Doubs in the corner of the end zone. Big time play, big time catch from Romeo Doubs. So we're seeing a lot of these things, and I talk about some of the injuries. Like I said, when you have Christian Watson playing the amount of football games like he did, you have Luke Musgrave who's on IR. You have some of these other guys like Aaron Jones who's missed a lot of games. He had to depend on A.J. Dillon. He had to depend on some of these guys stepping up, even the offensive line, shifting and shaking the offensive line, getting these guys in there. And then you talk about Jaden Reed, again, 23, Romeo Doubs, 23, Dontavian Wicks, 20. So we're looking at these guys, young ages, explosive offense. I really like what they're doing, and I think we still point to Matt LaFleur, how he's been able to get this guy in the perfect position and Jordan Love. He's seeing a lot of things from Aaron Rodgers, and I don't want to say he is Aaron Rodgers. I think, like I said, some expectations, some comparisons have been fair, but some are unfair. We're taking it that far this early. I don't want to do that just yet, but I think he is a good quarterback. And now we start to creep along this conversation. Just how good can Jordan Love be? We're looking at the NFC North. Jared Goff. Are the Detroit Lions going to re-sign him? I think it's trending towards that. We're looking at the Chicago Bears. Okay, is it Justin Fields, Caleb Williams? We're looking at some of these things. And then we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings, a very good team as well. When I talk about how he's played against the blitz, let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings, a blitz-heavy team. Brian Flores, he's turned this thing around. He's been the reason that defensively they've been able to keep it steady, having some guys step up like Ivan Pace Jr., Daniil Hunter having his shakeback season, getting double-digit sacks. So with that, still having Jordan Love come in there and play a big-time game on prime time. I want to know what you guys think down below about Jordan Love. I think these are some of the reasons, along with him, Matt LaFleur, what his weapons have been able to do, even though they're young, the offensive line stepping up, the run game being there. Those are the reasons that I think Jordan Love has found success early. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That's going to do it for today. And now,